they had the exploding Pinto. A lot of people don't remember this, but there was a car called the Pinto. And if you slammed into the back of the Pinto, on occasion, the gas tank, which was right there, exploded and the people died or got horribly burned. Tragic. Well, dozens of Pintos exploded and people were dying. And the truth that came out, the absolute truth, was the engineers knew before a single Pinto exploded.
Of course.
They went to the board of directors of Ford Motor Company and said, we have a problem. We have a car that's virtually going to kill 3,000 people next year. 3,000 human beings are going to die horrible deaths in horrific fires in our car called the Pinto because we have an engineering flaw. We have to do a recall. You know what the board did? The board said, we all own stock, guys. They were all guys. We all own stock, guys, in the company. Let's do an analysis. If we do a recall and announce it, how much is it going to cost the company? And what's that going to do to the stock price? It's going to crash by 50%. If we do nothing and we settle with all 3,000 people, giving them $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 million each to the families, how much will it cost the company and what will it affect the stock price? Well, there's no comparison. It'll cost the company less and the stock price will tank. And you know what the response was in the meeting? Fuck them, let them die. That's exactly what was said at that meeting.
Sven'gramz, chief on the land. Look, pay attention to this video. Everything is a lie. You should be celebrating, freeing yourself mentally. Go do it with me. Do it with me. Push the cage. Push the sail open. Push it. Ready? Get set. Go. Do you believe that it's open? Watch this video. Leave your comments in the comment section. Start doing things that you really don't, that you normally don't do. You know what I mean? Test the limit. And I hope you're being God to yourself. It ain't nothing wrong with celebrating others, but you gotta first celebrate yourself. You gotta celebrate yourself. When you do that, when you celebrate somebody else, it's so natural, it's so feeling. You don't feel no kind of way about it because you know you always celebrate you. Before you love somebody, you gotta make sure you love yourself. Shadow work on steroids. You can't skip steps. You can't jump over that, the shadow work, and start fucking meditating. Start buying crystals. A lot of people's brains are oversaturated. All you did was take religion and bring it to spirituality, and you took the crystals for verses in the Bible. You made it into a religion. So all you did was crystallize a new prison. Watch the video. It's important that you start to recalibrate yourself. Because lying to yourself right now is hazardous. It's insanity. And that's what this video is about. That's what these videos I do, is to point out the psychosis. Look at that Willie Lynch letter and see how many things you exhibit. You gotta look at it without no emotions. I got this for Papa Doc. Shout out to you. For you to be lost, for you to be found, you gotta first admit you lost. A lot of people have egos and they pride. They don't want to admit that they lost. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what's going on. That's how you truly become powerful, by admitting and by accepting the unacceptable. Watch this video. Get this work. Hit the like, subscribe. Amen. Light Church. 7, preach like a reverend.
Taxes. I saw a video, was from the early 2000s. Past employed workers for the IRS. They all left because they figured out federal income tax is non-constitutional. And someone said, if you can find the law that says you have to pay federal income tax, we'll give you $50,000. And that's how the one IRS agent found it. She's like, okay, yeah, I work for the IRS. I'm going to find it and make $50,000. And she's like, there's no law.
What do you mean there's no law? We have to pay federal tax.
She even said upwards of 60 million people in the U.S. in the early 2000s were not paying federal income taxes. And then one guy, he's like, yeah, I'm not paying taxes on that. And he was brought to court, and they're like, wait a second, we don't have a law. And so they couldn't charge him with anything. But then there's some conspiracy with the Titanic. There's someone on the Titanic that was a politician opposed to the collecting taxes for the Federal Reserve and stuff. And the Rothschild, they were supposed to be on the Titanic, and they decided not to get on last minute. And then these guys that were opposed to the Federal Reserve died in the Titanic. A year later, federal income tax, Federal Reserve was established.
In the old world, musicians, actors, artists, these types of people were considered the lowest part of society throughout the history of the world. Imagine being in the king's royal court. Call out the jester, right? He was the fucking clown. The musicians, they were, I'm serious, because it was looked down upon. It was like, this is not a real job. Working the land, building things, being a fucking man. What man would go and pretend to be another man and tell stories? Like, you were considered a fucking mentally ill person and a joke that was just for the amusement of society. What happened throughout history is that once Hollywood and the music industry became a thing, they took the lowest people of society with morality and put them at the top of the food chain. They flipped it upside down.